Okay, so today we're doing in 2-4, right? Solving linear systems. Okay, if you're looking at the notes, we're not going to do 1 and 2. Okay, if you can see, it says using a graphing calculator. You're going to be sketching the graph, and we're not using a calculator because on your entry test to college, you will not be able to use a calculator. You will likely not be able to use a calculator. So we're going to skip 1 and 2, all right? Now moving on, I'm going to go over here to number 3, okay? It says the two methods used to solve systems of equations algebraically is what? Substitution or elimination, okay? So now let's look at the first one. Solve the system of equations by substitution. We have x minus 2y equals 5 and 4x plus 3y equals 9, okay? So now if you're looking, look, you have an x here. So it logically makes sense that if we could solve this equation for x, then we can substitute x, that what we get in x's place, and solve for y, okay? And we can, the reason why I say look for substitution first, because this has a 1x, meaning you're not going to need to divide by anything. If it was to have like a negative 5x or something else, you may end up with a fraction answer, and sometimes that it can make it difficult to work through the fractions. But since we don't have a number here, this is telling me that I can get it in a form without a fraction, okay? So that's why I would choose to solve this where x is equal to something, okay? So if you have x minus 2y equals 5, to solve for x, what are you going to do? You're going to add 2y to the other side. So now you're going to have these cancel. What do you have? X is equal to 2y plus 5. I thought somebody was coming in my room. Okay, so x equals 2y plus 5. Okay, so now we have an x equals. So now we're going to take our second equation listed, and we're going to substitute x with 2y plus 5. Okay, so you're going to have 4, 2y plus 5 plus 3y equals 9. Okay, now you're going to get 8y plus 20 plus 3y equals 9. 11y plus 20 equals 9. You subtract your 20, you're going to get 11y equals a negative 11. You're going to divide by 11 on both sides, and what you're going to get? Y is equal to negative 1. Okay? All right. So now you're going to take your original x, right? Your x minus 2y equals 5, or you can take your x equals 2y plus 5 and put y back in and figure out what you get for x. Okay? So we got y equals negative 1, so we're going to say x is equal to 2 times negative 1 plus 5. All right? We got y equals negative 1, and we're just putting it back into the equation. So we're going to have x is equal to negative 2 plus 5, which means x is equal to 3. Okay? So now in your solution, you have your x coordinate and you have your y coordinate. So your solution would be 3, negative 1. Okay? Easy enough. All right, now let's look at one where we're doing elimination. Okay? All right, so we have 12x plus 8y equals negative 8, and 3x plus 4y equals 2. Okay, so looking at this, and it tells us here that we're going to use elimination. So we need to make one of these values, either the x or the y, cancel out, okay, so that we're just left to solve for one variable. All right, and to cancel out, that means we need to have a positive and a negative of the same number so that we know that they're going to cancel out and leave us with just one variable left. All right, so now looking at this, what do you think would logically make sense? We have a 12 and a 3 and an 8 and a 4 and an 8 and a 2. So by looking at this, the 8 and the 4, negative 4, yeah. Okay, so you need to find a common factor between these that you can multiply the equation by to get this. Okay, so take, for example, 3 times 4 is 12, right? So let's go in ahead and multiply this by negative 4. The whole thing, okay? Because when we do that, it's going to give us a negative of this value, and it's going to cancel out. And then we're going to be able to solve for y. Okay? So we need to find a multiple that will give us one of these numbers to cancel out. All right. So now you're going to say negative, so you're going to multiply this through, and you're going to say negative 12x. This becomes negative 16y equals your negative 4 times your 2 is negative 8. Okay, so now we're going to put this one underneath it because we're going to use elimination. Okay, remember how we're trying to eliminate one of them, cancel one of them out? So what do we have? These cancel. You have negative 12 plus 12. They eliminate each other. That's why it's called elimination. And what are you left with? You have negative 8y equals negative 16. So therefore y is equal to 2. Okay? So now once you get y is equal to 2, what are you going to do? You're going to plug it back in your original. So you have, we'll just do the second one. It has lower numbers. 3 times 2 plus 4y equals 2. Oh, sorry, this was the y, and I put it in the x. So let's fix that. So this should still be x. This is y is 2. So your y needs to be 2 right here. Okay, so you get, what do you get? 3x plus 8 equals 2. And now you're going to have 3x is equal to negative 6. And now you're going to have x is equal to negative 2. Okay, you divide both sides by 3. So now you have y is 2 and x is negative 2. And you just need to write your coordinates over here. We're going to have x is negative 2 and y is 2. Okay, so that's substitution and elimination. Let's see what we have left here. Okay, let's do one of the back ones. All right, so let's do number 6. Number 6. So now it's not telling you which method to use. You need to figure out which method to use. All right, so I can tell that if we multiply this by negative 2, this will become negative 6x, and it will eliminate. So I'm going to use elimination for this one. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this whole thing by negative 2. And I'm going to get negative 6x. And then I'm going to get, what is this going to be? Minus 4y. Oops, sorry, can't see. And then you're going to get negative 2 times 1, which is negative 2. Okay, so I just multiplied everything in this equation by negative 2. Now then, I'm going to rewrite the top one, and I'm going to add it back to it. Okay. So now what happened? Your 6x's cancel out. Your 4's cancel out, so it's going to give you a 0 on this side, and you're going to get equal to negative 14. All right, so basically our solution is going to be no solution. Okay, there's no solution. We're not going to do the graph part because you would need to put your equation in your calculator. Okay, so we're just solving these algebraically. Okay, so no solution. All right, we can go ahead and do this last one. Let's see, we've got maybe another minute here. All right, so what method do you think we should use here looking at this one? I think if you multiplied this by 3, these would cancel out. So let's go ahead and do that. Put a 3 out here. Okay, so if we rewrite it, what do we have? We have 6x, negative 3y equals 15. Oops. Now you're going to have negative 6x. I'm just rewriting the second one. Plus 3y equals negative 15. So now what are we going to get? These cancel, oh my, these cancel, all three of them cancel. So you actually get 0 is equal to 0, which is true, right? Up here we got 0 is equal to negative 14, so that's not true. So that means there's no solution. But down here we're getting 0 is equal to 0, which is true. So technically your solution when that happens, when you get a number equal to itself and it's true, it's every position on the line. Okay? So it's all points on line is the solution. Okay. Okay. They're basically the same line. It is the same equation. Okay. So all the points on the line is where they intersect because it's the same line, right? It is the exact same thing. Okay. So that's it for today. We will work on the practice problems in class. Thanks. Bye.